It may be cold and evening here, but it is warm and morning in California, where Chairman of the Board Lassi Nopponen is meeting up with Thomas Riebs, international banker, to hear about how he is helping Nordic Cleantech companies and what he thinks of Nordism as a business strategy. Over to you, Lassi, and LA.
Hello, Bigge. I'm sitting here with a gentleman from the banking world, a friend of mine, a Danish guy, who has been a big help for us, and we're going to talk about Nordism and what it means here in California. Can you first introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Thomas Riebs. I'm an international banker with Bank of the West. We're a subsidiary of BNP Paribas. I work with the International Banking Group, and we make banking easy for international people and businesses coming into the U.S.
I want to start by asking a question because, our CEO, Bigge Lidgren, he is from Skåne, and he has this weird love affair with you Danes. And when I was telling him that I'm going to meet you, he said that the Danes, they are brilliant businessmen.
This is true.
But he said that be sure to count your fingers after you've shaken hand with him. So how do you respond to this?
Well, I will say we're still mad at the Swedes about 1658, and we want Skåne back. And once we have Skåne back, we'll deal with Big at that point.
Thank you. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch upon is that because I know that you work with a lot of Nordic customers. I've met you in the Finnish consulate, and I've met you in the Swedish Chamber of Commerce, and you are a member of the board member of the English and German, and many of these things. So I guess my question is that, do you see that Nordic countries should cooperate more on the promotion of trade rather than having a rivalry of, in this market to achieve success?
Absolutely. I will say when we play soccer against Finland, there's definitely room for rivalry. But here, Southern California has about 25 million people. LA County has 10 million, like the combined populations of Denmark and Finland. But the Nordic countries total, I think, about 28 million people, and we pack a bigger punch together. And Nordic is cool here. Vikings are cool. Design from the Nordic countries are cool. People from the Nordic countries are cool. You are very cool. And we can definitely do things together that we couldn't do by ourselves.
Well, that resonates well with us because if you have looked us up, Cleantech Invest, we have selected Nordism as like a cornerstone of our strategy, and with really good results. We are combining, let's say, some Finnish infrastructure technologies with Swedish packaging skills, and we could add a little bit of Danish design into it, hopefully in the future. But the second topic I wanted to talk to you is this: how do you see the differences between different parts of the US, West Coast, East Coast, from the point of view of Nordic and Scandinavian companies establishing themselves in the US?
One thing I hear a lot is Nordic companies or business people saying, oh, the people in the East Coast are a little bit more like us, which is definitely not true. New York especially, very fast-paced, very buttoned up. I'm an international banker. I'm not wearing a tie.
This is the first time I see you without a tie.
Definitely in New York, I would be wearing a tie all the time. But I think the most relevant thing is, where do you see a market? And California is the leader in clean tech. We have the resources, we have the mandate. For instance, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power has 10 million clients, a little bit more actually than that. And they have the mandate from the city, from the mayor's office, from LA County, and from the state to lead the way. So other cities like New York, Chicago, and Houston, they look to LA. So if someone comes, one of your companies goes to the Department of Water and Power in New York, they'll say, well, Lassi, hold on a second, let me see what they're doing in LA. And, well, sorry, they're not doing what you're doing, so we're going to wait and see. If they take this up in LA, we're definitely interested in talking to you because this seems like an interesting technology, but this is the market leading space for clean tech. And I see this not just from the companies that you're invested in, but Danish, Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian, Icelandic companies that are in the clean tech space. They are increasingly realizing that they should take the extra 4 or 5 hour flight and come to LA.
Couldn't agree with more with that. I think we can conclude by saying that if any of the companies we have invested in, or the viewers need a relationship for banking, they can contact you here in LA.
They definitely can. I'd be happy to talk to them.
That's it. Thanks for this, and back to you, Bike.
Kiitos.